Hey guys, JC Smith here. Welcome to my version of a gated community. Okay, this is my property in the woods, the cabin in the woods we call it. If you've seen some other videos. Backstory, we bought this place about, I think 4 years ago. Had this crappy mobile home on it, neglected, leaked, full of mice, wanted nothing to do with it. So we tore it down. And we started building what was supposed to be a very simple cabin. Now, this is between 2.5 and 3 hours away from home. So when we come here, we typically spend 4, 5, 6, 7 days here at a time working. So what we did first was we did the main section, which the main section is the taller part you see here. That is 12 by 24. And it houses what's going to be the kitchen and the bathroom, and then there's a loft up there for the kids and the grandkids. That'll be 2 small bedrooms. And then after that, the next thing we did was add the back, which is 12 by 24, and that's 2 bedrooms, 2 12 by 12 bedrooms, which were not finished, but were where we could be finished probably in about a week. They could be completely done. And then the last thing we did was we added this front section, which is the living room and dining area. And we have never really had a dining room before, and my kids are older, and one day we may have grandkids, and I wanted a space that was big enough for all of us to sit at, like a Walton's style table, big long table with 2 benches and a chair at each end, right? So that's what this is. So we bought this place for that mobile home here, and the drainage around here is not good. One thing is, if you see this huge evergreen here, I think that's an evergreen. That tree, it's noon right now, so you see there's all the shades underneath it. Well, usually within a half hour, 45 minutes past noon, it'll start creeping this way, and it'll keep all this front area in the shade. And what ends up happening over here is you can see, we're surrounded with trees. The whole property is surrounded with trees. Of all the acres that are here, I think normally with a push mower we can mow this in about a half an hour because there's not that much grass here. Okay, so anyhow, the first thing we did, we started bringing in this fill. This is sandstone. I have about 600 tons of fill in this area, bringing it up so that it's out of the wet spot and everything can drain away from the building. Okay, not done yet. That's just fill. That's not the final. I'm standing on what's the driveway. The driveway is intended to come in. You see these tire tracks here? That's not what we want to do. What we want to do is make the driveway kind of come in. I guess I'll just show you this way. Alright, so now you can see our van's kind of crooked there, but the driveway should come in like this. This is an extra pile of material that we keep around because we have some spots that have settled and things like that we still need. A couple places I've run the skid steer and it's kind of sunk in, when it was still not packed in good. But like I said, this is the first time we've been here this year, and it's like July 26th, I think. And the grass was, it was above my knees. So this looks crappy because it was crappy. We mowed it once, and what we would do is mow it one pass with our push mower and then drag it back over that same pass and try and cut it up real good. And then we went the other way. We first started going this way on this section, and then the next pass we did this way, and it looks a lot better, but it's really horrible for what it is, because last year when we were up here we had it really nice and clean. You can see all the weeds coming in here. I spent probably 2.5, 3 hours going through all this, spraying all the weeds, and this is topsoil I took out before we put this driveway in, and of course it looked like a mountain of weeds too. But anyways, I guess the gist of this is we haven't been up here because we've been busy, and it hasn't been important enough to get up here to make time to work on it because we have other things that we think are more important. Quite honestly, as busy as we are and all the things we have going on, the responsible thing to do would be sell this place and not have this, because this is a burden to me right now, because everything we've done here is permitted, inspected, and I have a permit that's going to expire in September, and I have to have all my siding on to meet that permit, or I have to renew it, and it gets a little costly to renew that permit. So that's what I need to do. I need to get that done. I have some, and the siding sounds like it should be pretty simple, but there's a lot of soffit material underneath these roofs. But let me take you a walk around here and show you what we're up against. Alright, so this is a side, and you see there's a lot of windows. The reason there's a lot of windows is because I don't want to be in a dungeon, a cave. I want to be able to see out. I like bright, and I like to be able to open the windows in the evenings. Alright, so this is what's going to be the kitchen. It should be more than likely the entrance we use the most, because we'll put a deck out here on this part of the roof, and then the driveway will come in like this and kind of stop over in this area. You can see all this fill we've got here. This is our driveway. I'm going to back up against the building here, and you can see, I don't know if you can see the rocks out there. There's some rocks over here. That's the corner of what will be the driveway. So we want to be able to come in right into the kitchen. So, and again, got a kitchen door with the windows in it, so it brings some nice light. Now, like I said, this was the first section we did. Alright. Then the second thing we did, the next part, was in 5 days, we built this. This is 24, 12 this way, 24 the other way, and that is 2 bedrooms. So each bedroom is roughly going to be about 12 by 12. And I built this on 6 by 6 posts, every 6 foot. Okay? And I did that because this is not a home, this is a vacation place, a getaway. I don't need a basement. It would be not cost effective. If I was putting a basement on this place, I would never build it. So I chose to do this, and these are sitting on 12 inches of concrete, backfilled with gravel, and then dirt. Again, all in all now, this building is 24 feet this way, and a total of 40 feet this way. And then the upstairs is 12 by 24. So this is the 2 back bedrooms, and as you see, both bedrooms, or each bedroom has 2 windows. Okay, so we get some nice breeze in there at night, and they're nice sized windows. I want to tell you they're 28 by 48. Does that sound right? I'm not sure. Something like that. I wanted fairly wide, fairly tall, but not too big where it used up all the wall space, and you couldn't get in any furniture. I have some more trees to take out because I've got tree limbs fall on the building, which I don't want, because that's when you get tree limbs over top of a building and ants fall down, carpenter ants, and you have problems. So I got to take some of these trees out, push them down into the woods, and then cut them up. I'll probably take a skid steer. The ground out here at certain times is so wet, like even this tree. You can see how big this tree is. I'll stick my foot up here. It's a decent sized tree. The ground will get wet enough that I can come in on this fill over here, this rocky fill, put the skid steer on that tree, and I can push it over. Mostly that's because of the way the drainage is set up right now. It's not complete the way it should be, which will work in my favor, because I'll take that one, and that one, and push them over and get them away from the building. Okay, so here's the back side, and this would be the porch we'll probably use the most. It is, I want to say it's 10 by 20 total. And there's a reason it's an odd size. It wasn't good for material, but there was a reason behind it, and it kind of skips me right now. But we're not done building this. As you can see, that is a 2x4 and spanning 10 feet. Obviously that's nowhere near enough, but when we were building the front living room, I needed to get the roof on, and I had to have this built before I could shingle that up over there. Well, I probably could have done it without, but I didn't want to. I wanted to shingle it all at the same time, so it was good and weather tight. So what we have to do yet is come from on top of that header up here to about the top of that window, okay, and we will build kind of a truss system. These 2x4s are 16 on center, okay, and we put ladder bridging in just to help while we were waiting to get more time. But so it'll get like a truss system. Let's see if I can show you that this way. Yeah, this might be better. Okay, so we'll take a truss. I'll take a 2x4 from here, basically up to about the top of that window, just enough room for the soffit material to fit. And then we'll tie that 2x4 to this one with webbing, and that should make it plenty stiff. I mean, 24-foot trusses are made like that, so we should be fine. That is the window to the bathroom, and this is going to be out of our dining area, stepping down into this covered porch. All the windows, all the doors have low E and argon, so they're good quality windows. You can't tell here in this camera because it's two-dimensional, but this slopes this way, and I have a swale kind of going like this, and it curves around here. And what is to happen is we will, when it dries up enough, I'll get the skid steer in here, I'll take it back into the woods, and I will put a drain in here. I'll get some of that septic line with the popcorn insulation around it and the net, and I'll run it all the way up through here where it stays wet. You can see this wet area here and here. I'll run alongside the edge of the driveway, catch all this water, and take it around to the back into the woods and let it drain back there, because there's probably about, I'm going to tell you, 3 feet of fall way back there. So what I'll do is I'll get gutters off of these and grab that. Now this year, why it's so important to get the siding on is, one is the permit, and two is my fascia boards up here have been like this now for I think 3 years, and I don't want them rotting away. I need to get them done. I don't want to have to replace them. So and you see all my step flashing up here for my roofing. I don't want any water getting in there. That's why there's ice guard behind it. Before I did the shingles, I ice guarded the flat and then came up the wall and ice guarded everywhere the roof met that. So that's that. There's the front of it. I'm thinking one day of doing a small porch over the front door. Nothing elaborate, just something to keep the weather off the front door. Alright, let's go in. I'm going to show you. Now keep in mind, this is basically an empty shell. Alright, let's go inside. Now keep in mind this is an empty shell and it's a work zone. You know, we're working on this as we stay here. So what we do is bring in just enough stuff and kind of make some makeshift dining room table with sawhorses and OSB. That way when we're cutting and all that, we still have that, you know, we've got a place set up the chop saw and circular saw and all that kind of stuff. But alright, so there's the big sliding glass door. This area here will be kind of the dining area. And this is where I was talking about, I'd like to have that big Walton's table, you know, a big 8-foot long table with a bench on this side, bench on that side, and 2 chairs. And then there's a big picture window there. And these are probably the most stylish window treatments you've ever seen. Those are custom by El Cheapo. Hard to find. Not real expensive, that's for sure. But basically we put these up just to keep so you can't see in and all that kind of stuff, because we are out in the country here, out in the mountains, and you never know if someone's going to show up, and you know, the less somebody can see, the better off it is, you know. Alright, so that's the one side, and then this side over here is right now is our makeshift kitchen. Of course, we have the finest you know, furniture, patio furniture, as far as rockers and swivels right there, whatever you want to call them. You know, again, we just make do with what we have, because I don't want to bring too much stuff here, and then I've got to constantly keep moving it. And it's amazing, every time we come here, we bring more and more stuff, and then it's just in the way. So that's my wife's temporary counter. She does her dishes here. our wash pan and whatever. There's a little microwave there. Of course, we have a refrigerator, a couple old kitchen cabinets I had, and a piece of countertop, and then that little stove and oven combination came out of a camper. Actually, believe it or not, she uses that oven. She makes me biscuits and gravy for breakfast sometimes with that oven. So this is, like I said, this will eventually be the living room and then the dining table area. Okay, now this, I've done some of the wiring in here so we could have lights. I put these recessed lights in. If you guys aren't familiar with these are LED trims, okay? This is what's called the warm white. They're not real bright LEDs. And what I did is I wired those two on the outside, this one, and then that one, and that one. So they're on 3 different switches. That way we can turn on whatever we want. And then there'll be a ceiling fan here, and a ceiling fan with a light here on, both of those. And I've done the wiring so we can have light in here. And this is not up to code. I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but this is not up to code. This is a no-no. Don't do that. Anyways, window treatments, whatever you want to call those. My wife will either make curtains or buy curtains when the time comes, but not now. I like the idea of having the step down. I always like that, coming out of one room and step down into the living room. So now we're going into what is actually going to be the kitchen. Okay, this is a kitchen area. Now when we built this originally, this was the first structure. This was the wall you saw, and I placed that door there specifically because of the layout of the kitchen. Now the door you saw in the front of the building was right there, and my plan was to build this living room area, right in here, and then remove that door and move it forward. So that's what we did. Of course, we had plans of making that door bigger, but I shortened it. Change of plans. So this is going to be the actual kitchen. Okay. This, I have almost all the wirings complete now in here. I'll show you what we got here. So we'll have the side door. We'll use this door the most. Okay. I was missing a couple boxes. I got those now, so I can finish up this wiring. There'll be I think it's a 4-foot electric baseboard heater right here. There'll be a kitchen cabinet, stove with a microwave above it. I guess that'll be right there. 2 more cabinets, and then a bank of cabinets on top. And again, you'll see I use a lot of recessed lights. They work well, and there'll be a ceiling fan with a light right there. And then that'll be unfortunately, I hate this, but this is a smoke detector. I hate putting smoke detectors in kitchens because they're a nuisance, but it is what it is. It's one of the things they required. Now, it's important for me to tell you that everything we're doing here is permitted and inspected. Nothing has been moonlighted or, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so now where did I leave off? Oh yeah, okay, so this is the other wall of the kitchen. And the bathroom is on that side of the wall. So obviously I put the kitchen sink on this side. The refrigerator goes in the corner. And the reason I did that, which is pretty self-explanatory, I guess, I want to put an access panel here so if I ever have to get to that valve, I can do it. So if I have to service it. So then there'll be kitchen sink. There'll be a light above the kitchen sink and cabinets across here, cabinet here, and they'll have a GFI there, switch for the light that goes above the sink, and a load protected receptacle here off the GFI, and this is the thermostat for that baseboard heater. Now, the whole entire cabin will be heated with electric baseboard heaters. We'll also have propane fireplace, which should go right there in that corner. We'll have 2 of them. There'll be one in there and one in my bedroom. But I don't like to use propane too much because they create so much moisture in the air. But it is what it is. I don't want to use a wood stove because we're not here enough, and then I'll have to clean the fluid an awful lot. Oh, let me show you this. If you guys have ever done any of your own electric work, I make these things for myself so that I can spin my wire. We call it a wire spinner. Obviously, for that obvious reason, I just take a 2x4, I nail it together, I take a little Romex, and I staple it bring it to the top, staple it back down, and obviously the roll of wire sits on there. And I use one of those dog leashes with an eyelet, a clasp for a dog leash, and then it can spin. And then what that allows me to do is pull my wire off, and it doesn't spiral. So you end up with, let me show you a good example here. This. You see how my wire is all nice and flat and straight? That's because I use that spinner. Probably cost me $1.50 to make that. Scrapped lumber and bought the hasp and an eyelet. Maybe $3, who knows. Okay, so this is the only room that's actually close to being finished. This is the bathroom. We used a, geez, I'm trying to think what the name of that style of door is. I want to say shaker. Is that it? Shaker style? These are solid wood doors. Really nice door. I really wanted to have a hickory door, but these were a pretty good buy when I found them. There's your electric baseboard heater for the bathroom. It will have its own thermostat. These are some more of those LEDs. Now that's showing up awful bright on camera, but that is a warm white also. It's not that bright white. So in here I put in a full one-piece tub shower unit. That was kind of important. I didn't want to have to seal anything, and I set that in a bed of thin set. So underneath that, bottom of that is sitting on thin set, so it won't ever split. I have trim left to do here. More of those fabulous window treatments. I don't know if you can see this or not, but we put sunbursts around the. It might show up. Let me see that. Let me help that. That might do it. Can you see that now? No. Yeah, we put sunbursts and textured ceiling in here. And now I'm going to turn around here and show you a little more about what this is. Okay, so nothing real elaborate here. Vinyl floor, standard toilet. I don't remember what the deal was with that vanity, but we looked for one for that particular style and wood, and the top there, and put a mirror up, and of course your kind of basic light. Now this is not a closet. This holds all of the well material, the well water pieces. Alright, so the well water comes in here, and I've insulated the line. It comes in back here because I don't want it to sweat and get the floor all wet. So we've insulated the line. It comes in here to a pressure switch. If you don't know how wells work, they pump this thing full with pressure. There's a diaphragm in there. It kind of holds pressure on it. The well pump pumps against the diaphragm, and that's what has your pressure. Got a pressure gauge, got our pressure relief, and then it comes out of here and goes to the water heater, and then also down in that back wall to feed the kitchen and the bathroom vanity, toilet, and shower. So then there's the hot water coming out, and it does the same thing, goes in that wall I just showed you. Now, because this is a seasonal place, I'm not here all the time, and when I leave in the wintertime, I don't want to heat this place. I've got this set up where I can drain the pressure tank and the water heater with a few valves. So the first thing we do, you see how this is, this comes in here, I teed off. Tee this off, has a slight drop here, it doesn't show up really well, but there is a slight drop. Now, I have this mark that's in use. If you're here, that's turned that way for in use. And if it's time to go, and I'm not left-handed, you turn it like so to drain. Okay, so in the in use position, it blocks off the supply. The pressure side is blocked off. In the event you were in use and this pressure got too high, it would pop off and go past this drain, which is closed off, so it's isolated from the pressure side, down here. Now, the pressure relief valve for the water heater is also in here, and those are both 3/4 lines. And it comes all the way down here and goes out the bottom. Now, this drain for the water heater is also tied in. So the whole time that you're in use, this is closed. This is closed, so it's not going to lose any pressure, it's not going to backflow. Now when we drain it, we can drain everything. I'll show you some more on that drain here. This is built out of this stuff because it has to be able to be removed. This is screwed into place here, this section. So if I ever have to replace this, you can see how tight that is. It just fits. Okay, and I put it on a pedestal to get the drain up high enough that we could get it to go out. Now, that drain goes outside to a spigot or a silcock, whatever you want to call it. So there's our hot and cold coming through, and they come down here, and they tee off and come this way. And you notice they're going uphill. Tees off and fits the vanity, tees off again, hits the toilet. These two come off for the kitchen sink, and these two go over for the shower. Now, at the lowest point, I have them teed off where they go down through the floor and they go out the back, the same as that other drain. So when it's time to winterize this place, I can open that one valve and put it to where it says drain that, open the water tank drain, and then just go outside and open the 3 silcocks, and the whole system will drain out. Now, the well tank, the well line goes all the way back out to the well, which is out front, and it's much lower than everything else that's underground. And I have a valve in between the pitless adapter, and there's a 90 there, and it's teed, and at that 90 I have a valve on a rod, so I can pull up on the rod and it closes the valve. I can push down on the rod, it opens the valve, and it drains that whole line. So my whole well is or the whole water system can drain out. Now, I'm just about done with the electric here. This is my electric panel. It's a Cutler hammer. It's 150 amp. It might look like it's full, which it's not. It has 4 spaces left, but like these two aren't being used, and all these 15s are electric baseboard heaters, which won't be used all at the same time. I just wanted them in different zones, so if there's a problem with one heater, we're not losing heat for the whole place. So that's why it's like that. But yeah, everything's in here. Everything will be electric with the exception of some of the supplemental heat. Okay, so this is the kitchen and the bathroom, and this here is what's going to be the bedrooms. There'll be 2 bedrooms back here, and again, we got to step down. Now, I put vinyl floor in here because we're under construction, it's muddy outside, and I wanted a floor, you know, you come in here to go to bed, you don't want to be on OSB. So I'll probably have vinyl in both of these bedrooms later, but it'll be glued down. This is just laid. You can see some of these wrinkles here. A lot of that's from being hot, cold, and big changes in heat, and it's not glued down. So this is the bedroom, and this is, everything is wired behind the walls and behind the ceiling. Now, we wanted to work up here, but it was going to be too hot in the summertime because this was open trusses like that living room. So I insulated the ceiling. There's R30 up there, and I put R13 in the walls, and I didn't know what we wanted to do, and I didn't want to take the time to do drywall if that's what we chose. So we put the OSB up and painted it, and painted it, and painted it, and paint it again. Man, OSB soaks up a lot of paint. So this will be 1 bedroom. So what I've done is I've wired this to where it has a home run from the panel, is what we call it, a home run. 1 circuit coming from there, and basically from, just about the middle of that doorway, if you follow that seam, you'll see these wires coming out. The circuits coming from the panel come in this. This will be that center dividing wall. Okay. So this center dividing wall will split the 2 bedrooms. And what we'll have is all the way down here, and then, well, let me clarify that. So the home run from the panel comes into this wall, and then that will give us a switch for the ceiling fan and light, and then also will carry power down the rest of the wall to the outside walls, which are already wired down through here. Okay, and also the home run for the electric baseboard heater goes in here, and a thermostat. So there'll be a thermostat in this room, an electric baseboard heater, and a thermostat in that room, electric baseboard heater. So we're going to have, basically there'll be a wall comes out this way, and then it turns and goes that way. So we'll have a door on this side of that doorway and a door on this side, and basically, I guess what you're looking at is, on this one, the door would be here, and it's going to open this way into the bedroom. I put this in here. This is one of those propane heaters, and I got to tell you, I really don't like using them things. It's not really so much as worrying about, you know, like carbon dioxide or anything like that, or carbon monoxide, whichever one it is. but those things create so much moisture in the air. I don't like to use them. And then of course we got our more of these great window treatments, but you know, necessary evil for now. And then that's the corner fireplace we'll be using in the living room, so that'd be kind of cool. But you know, a long way to go. But you have to understand, we built all of this ourselves, and I've really only spent, I think, I'm going to tell you, I've been here 7 or 8 times building, and we built this section to the point that you see it now in 4 days. The living room took us 4 days, and everything I've done on this, I know this is overkill. This is what my friends call me anyways, is overkill. All the trusses are 16 on center. It's way over braced. We don't need 16 on center. We got our lateral brace here, which we really don't need because it's up against our building. And we have our ridge brace at 16 foot. And then we have our center line brace. And then we have our corner bracing on a lateral and a corner. So it's way overdone, but we'll never have any troubles. It should be just fine. And then that is the opening to the loft. Now, the plan for that is a wrought iron railing upstairs all the way around. And because it'll be for my kids that are older, and maybe for grandkids, it'd always be kind of fun to have a like a ladder, a pull-down ladder that's going to come down for them to go up. But, you know, either that or they'll end up staying in the living room, and we're going to put 2 couches in here, 2 fold-out couches, so should be enough. But anyways, so that's us. That's our cabin in the woods. That's where we're at. That's the progress. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with that, guys. But, you know, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up, and leave your comments down below. I like to read them. I enjoy it. Alright, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.